Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Oh, hi. This is Laurie.
This is Peter.
Why don't you scoot in just a little bit more? I need to scoot over. You need to scoot. Not scoot up. Scoot in. Oh, that hurt.
Okay.
That hurt the ears. Okay. Hi. This is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And we are with Action Heroes LA with our latest review, the subsidiary of Heroes Character Rental Service. Do I need to keep doing that?
Night in Soho. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Action Heroes LA. Okay. We are with our this latest movie. You missed a word. It's Last Night in Soho.
I thought that's what I said.
You said Night in Soho.
Oh.
You got to get that
Well, it
last
was last
night
in Soho.
It was last
Not
night.
tonight or tomorrow. It's last
night. Anyway, this movie stars Thomasin, McKenzie, Beth Harmon, Doctor Who, Emma Peel, and Zod.
Oh, but Ellen was in it.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen who?
I don't know. DeGeneres? No.
What are you talking about? Oh, Lord. No, I'm cracked up because... Anyway, Anya Taylor.
Rosie Perez.
Oh, my God. Rosie Perez has not shown up in our reviews in a while now. Hi,
But
Rosie.
she showed up in this movie, though,
Anyway.
right?
Okay, so this is actually, it's starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Thomasin McKenzie, oh shit, who was Doctor Who? I forgot his name. Matt Smith, Emma Peel. It's Diana Rigg. You remember Diana Rigg? From,
Was she there? It's
and
the
Terrance
aluminum
Stamp.
things.
You
I
know
only
who
know-
Terrance Stamp is?
No, I only know Terrance. What's his name?
You know who Terrance
Torino?
Stamp is. I called him Zod for a reason. Superman 2. Kneel before Zod.
What?
He was.
That was him?
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, yes, he is. So there's a lot of good acting in here. So particularly, yeah, I can get into the acting. This is directed by Edgar Wright, who also directed. I don't know if you've seen any of these movies. He's got some pretty. I don't know if you cult status or pretty well-known movies from quite a few years ago. One was called Shaun of the Dead. Another one, Hot Fuzz.
No.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
But let
are the
me
ones
ask you this.
Yeah.
Are they all kind of artsy movies?
You know, I've seen the Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a very stylish, lots of graphics, video effects, video game effects actually on that one. It's based on a graphic novel. But the other two, like Shaun of the Dead, is kind of a makes fun of horror movies. And these movies are like, they're legendary classic. Hot Fuzz makes fun of cop movies. So I've seen, those are the three I've kind of seen by him.
I'm definitely now going to look some of those movies that you just set up, because the way this was shot, usually I don't like artsy movies, but the way this was done, it was like, okay.
Well, he does. He's a very capable. He's very good visual stylist. He has fantastic visuals, and sometimes directors who they can just be only about the visuals. But no, he's got more. There's more substance to his movies. I mean, Scott Pilgrim versus the World has some fantastic visual and action scenes and such. But it's, you know, I'll get into it. I'm reviewing his other movies before this because I think it makes a big.
But the thing is, in this movie, Last Night in Soho, though the visuals were there and you saw them, it was like, oh
They
yeah,
serve
and
the story,
this happens, and then we keep going with the story. We don't linger.
They serve the visuals serve this story very well, and I'm a big fan. This takes place. Let's get to the scenes. This is about a young girl. She's obsessed with the 60s, and so much how this movie starts off. You think she's living in the 60s.
But she is a fashion designer who is obsessed with the 60s.
She wants to be a fashion designer. She's who's obsessed with the 60s, particularly London, kind of like that mid 60s era. And she gets a scholarship to go to fashion design school in London. And it's the story of her. She's having a terrible time at school. She gets mean girled pretty badly. She decides to move out the dorm and rents the house from this older lady, played by Diana Rigg, Emma Peel. I can't think of the show. The guy with the bowler hat and the umbrella. And it's a British show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Emma Peel. Yeah, she's legend.
That's her?
Yes. Anyway,
No.
she rents a
She's
room
Sandy?
in this old house. No, not Sandy. She's
Okay.
she rents a room in this old house and proceeds to have dreams where she actually seems to time travel back to the era she's in love with. And in her dreams, she takes on this persona of played by Anya Taylor-Joy, this beautiful blonde who's trying to be a singer during that era, and
Very 60s.
very 60s. And as the more every night she dreams, it's great the first dream, but each dream gets worse and worse till it becomes like just this horror.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, and it's kind of a lesson on nostalgia. It's like beware of nostalgia. You think something was greater in another era, you forgetting like it had its crap going on too.
Yes.
And this one particular movie does a good job thematically about women, subjugation of women, and the objectification and sexualization of them in past era. The
But you
lack
know
of
what?
respect.
Again, I guess to give the director his props, it didn't throw it in your face.
That's true. Yeah.
It just, oh yeah, now,
then. It's like,
and it was just like,
all this stuff was great about then, but so this shit was happening at the same time. Don't get it twisted.
yes,
So I really enjoyed this movie.
I did too.
I love the visual style. Anya Taylor-Joy I'll watch her in anything. She's a fantastic actress. I called her Beth Harmon in the beginning because where I discovered her, and I think most people first saw her, there's a Netflix series called The Queen's Gambit. That's fantastic. This came out like during the first lockdown in 2020, and everybody was watching the show, and for good reason. It's a fantastic show, and she's the star of it, and she's amazing in that. And everything I've seen her in since, she's been amazing in. So I love her.
Well, I think one of the things that I liked about this show or about this movie, well, at first I was going, "Oh God, this is not going to be good."
Okay, interesting.
And then it went into, "Wow, this is really good. This is really interesting."
Yeah.
And then it went into a genre that I absolutely love, horror.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. And talking about riding in the car, I kept grabbing for the steering wheel. Oh, come on.
It really does. It kind of it puts you very much in the shoes of the character Eloise, who's played by Thomasin McKenzie, and you're frustrated with her, you're frightened with her, and of what she's experiencing, and there's just so many visuals that are beautifully handled in this,
and I think they wrote the movie and they put it out there. They edited just well.
Yeah.
Because, well, when we were watching the movie, I picked up this guy is this guy and this guy is that guy and this happened here. And I said, so I know what it is. And that wasn't it.
Yeah. You weren't able to. Yeah. I wondered about it, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure until like certain reveals happened, and then there were reveals that I totally weren't expecting happening. So this was a movie. It was a fun watch. It was a fun horror watch for me. I'm kind of surprised because there's a lot of critics that were kind of down on this movie. And,
really?
Yeah, and but the audience score has been really high. I mean, I think everybody's like, I don't care. It was a fun watch. Right. And there's little critiques. It's like, well, it's somebody having their cake and eating it too. They want to say something about feminism, and then like they kind of fall for kind of exploiting the women in it, or some kind of bullshit like that.
Yeah,
or
because the thing is, the personality that she was bringing out, it totally threw me that she went for the person that she went for.
Okay.
But she did, so it was, her attitude is very 60-ish. And then, but she's living in another attitude.
Well, she is a girl of modern times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, wow, okay. I didn't see that coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
like, but it was just, I thought, a great acted movie, a great directing. The editing had to be fantastic because the way they just put everything together.
Everything well done. Great music score. Great music. I won't say score because they have a lot of songs from the '60s. One of some of the criticisms, like a lot of songs are too on the nose, and I can see that. But they're such great songs. I just didn't care.
Yeah, it's like
and the other thing is like for a movie that had making commentary about nostalgia, not necessarily being a good thing. It kind of celebrates its own nostalgia by recreating this era, and really love for it. I did feel towards the end, as it got turned more and more into like straight horror movie, it maybe kind of start pushing a little too hard with some of the visuals and some of the stuff. I thought it's kind of getting a little too much for me at this point. But
for me, at the end, towards the end, it started to linger too much.
Yeah, it was just it just kind of it started piling on that just straight horror element, and from going to something that was kind of nuanced in the beginning to kind of just hammering her over the head with straight horror was a little tough, and then she's seeing like. She seeing ghosts, or is she seeing these people in her dreams? Her mom, she comes from a family where mental illness was an issue. Some of the criticism was how they treat mental illness. This is just some of the critics I've heard. I was like, I had none of this. I just enjoyed the movie for just being a fun movie watch, and not. It could have went a lot deeper into these issues than some of the things it explores. But I don't think they had any interest into doing that.
Right.
And that worked for me because that made, so they could go to the straight up over the top horror elements, which were a lot of fun. Which is what you love about horror movies anyway.
Yes.
So I thought it balanced that really well. So a lot of people, me saying I hate that. So a lot of the critics who are they're not wrong, but I don't think this movie had any interest in that. It just kind of wanted to tell this fun, cool story with some cool surprises. And
I just thought it was just a really good movie, and after a while, man, I was on it with them.
Yeah, I was yelling at the screen. This was fun to yell at the screen about and everything. So, any other thoughts on Last Night in Soho?
No, but I did want to say, from the beginning to the end, it went totally different than what I thought.
And that's always good. That
it
keeps you on it. Yeah, you're not guessing. You can't say, I can see where this is going.
Right.
Completely. So yeah, Last Night in Soho. It is streaming on HBO Max right now. So if you have seen it or you just check it out, let us know what you think in the comments. And we out.
We out.
We out.